I put together a nice little video that talks about the beginnings of what a home buyer that's contemplating buying real estate should be thinking about. So what I did is I put that together. I had that posted up at santaclaritaopenhouses.com/update. Just look for the video that talks about 101. santaclaritaopenhouses.com/update. Now, once you see that one, that's going to take you through should you even be buying a house, and then moving into the communication after you select a lender, select an agent, and all these other things. Once that happens and you get to the point that you've said, yes, I am going to be buying a house, some kind of residential real estate to live in. That's kind of the precursor to this video show. Investors, that's a whole different animal, different video series. I have that as well. Connor with honor. Thank you. Anyway, then the thing is when you get that communication down and you understand how everybody's going to play fair in the sandbox, then you move into that next step, which is once you've qualified for a particular amount, your lender's going to say, you'll give up all your information. Just a quick word on that. It wouldn't be a bad idea. It probably wouldn't hurt for you to hold on to the file that you put together for whichever lender you select. He's going to be asking, she's going to be asking for a lot of documents. Those documents are going to be financial things, past taxes, things that might not be easy to get a hold of again. And the reason why you might want to hold on to everything, if the lender that you're working with, you lose total faith in them. You catch them having done something that would have been bad for you, and they knew it and weren't forthright with it, kind of themselves. That happens a lot when you have people dependent on other people for the money that they make. So I guess it happens a lot. All right. Once you start working with whomever it is, you might have that falling out. If you have a file of all the documents that you put together to become pre-approved with a particular lender, it's much easier to further that with somebody else if need be. Just hold on to that in the back of your brain. Just make a file on your desktop, your laptop, or in your phone on your drive. Hold on to whatever documents you pass back and forth to the lender. They're going to ask you for everything. Once they do, they're going to approve you. Now, there's different types of pre-approval. There's underwriter approval, regular pre-approval. It used to be back in the day when you would see a pre-approval letter as a real estate agent, and I'm talking way back in the late 90s. It was somewhat verified. If you had the letter, more than likely it was accurate. It was true. And the reason why I'm even throwing that out today, with all the fake things in the world, there are things that aren't true, and it's very easy to go online and make up things. That's why it's very important for your agent, well, okay, on the seller's end of it, for them to do their due diligence and find out these people writing offers on their home, are they actually qualified? So that agent should be following up with each one of those in that instance. You as a real estate buyer, on the other hand, you will be giving your agent a pre-approval letter. If you've met the lender through the agent, more than likely everything's great. If you're coming to the table with your own lender, it might not be a bad idea for your real estate agent just to give them a call and find out what's going on. Make that introduction. Hey, let's all be buddies. We're in the sandbox together. Let's try to get so-and-so what they want. And when the agent connects with the lender like that, it's actually kind of cool because the lenders know a lot of lenders. It's important that we put all of our pride aside, and maybe an agent likes to work with a particular lender or vice versa. We have to move all that stuff aside and do what's best for the client, period, end of story. They should be playing wonderfully together. And again, the communication thing, maybe have them streaming emails back and forth. Tie your lender into the emails, and listen, if they tell you, we don't have time to look at all these emails, that some of them which don't have anything to do with us, say, maybe you're not the right lender for me. I would accept emails, and I have a moment to go through them. And if I'm really that busy, I can create folders and review emails sometime midday, so I can at least get them all out of the way. So that being an excuse, don't involve me. And if somebody says not to involve them, and see what you think. Once you get that together, you get the pre-approval letter, now you're set at a particular price. What do you want to buy? You have enough money to buy a single family residence. Maybe strategically you don't want a single family residence. Maybe you want a townhome or a condominium. People do that. That's not weird. Single family residence, however, might be the best choice if you're buying residential real estate. And I only say that if you can get into one, it's going to be maybe more private. You're not going to be sharing, well, depends on where it is in the Santa Clarita Valley, but most of the time you're not sharing driveways. They're usually standalone. Townhomes, detached condos, these are different property types. You might be sharing driveways. Some are configured where you'll have 4 houses kind of facing each other in a square, and then you have the access points to the garages within kind of a straight little area. That being the case, that works out great. However, just know that going in, usually in that kind of a situation, there's going to be homeowners as well. Homeowners association dues. I'll throw that out there as well. In my buyer briefings, I go into this ad nauseum, but I do talk a lot about homeowners associations. People often ask, what are they for? What do they mean? How do they work? How do they make their money? Sometimes it's difficult to tell what the homeowners association does for the dues that are being paid. But if you're in an area that has a lot of green belts, a lot of extra property, maybe racquetball courts, swimming pools for the community, these sorts of things. And that's the homeowners association community, not the general community, because the members are paying for those. Well, you see kind of what they do. Some other cases, they provide insurance. There's an insurance bond depending on what function they serve. That's going to probably be more condominium, maybe townhome, but it depends. Whenever you're buying anything that has a homeowners association, at least here in Santa Clarita, if you're going through a broker and agent and everything, there's going to be a point where you're going to be able to review as a home buyer the CC&Rs. They are covenants, conditions, and restrictions having to do with the condominium and homeowners association. So there's going to be rules. So once you have that information and you know exactly what to purchase, you decide what type of housing type, and again, you're going to get a copy of these CC&Rs for the residences, the condominiums, and single family residences. In there, you're going to see if there's a board of directors, you're going to see who manages it, you're going to see if there's any kind of a political structure within it. And then, you have jokes that stem from that, people that go and want to be president of a homeowners association and so on. And you can watch that ad nauseum all over television. I like the ad nauseum statement. I think it's good. All right. So that being the case, let's say single family residence it is. If it has a homeowners association, you're going to want to find out about that. You'll want to see if it has Mello-Roos or special assessments, extra taxes, and extra taxes that potentially at some point the home builder, whomever that was, decided that they would rather pass on those costs to each individual homeowner, have them included as part of their property taxes over and above the normal Los Angeles County tax rate of 1.25%. And it's plus or minus. So depending on the house, when it was built, it's going to fluctuate right around there for LA County property taxes. So if you're buying a home, making it simple, $100,000, you will 1.25% of that, of $100,000, if we could find such a thing, is going to be $1,250. That's going to be your property taxes for that property if it's in LA County and there's no special assessment. So you just multiply that up. If it's $1 million house, your property taxes are going to be $12,500 at 1.25% for $1 million of real estate. That's per year. Payments broken up in a couple different payments throughout the year. Now, it depends on your loan whether or not you're going to be allowed to pay your own taxes, having saved for it for enough, and then 2 years, you're paying that $6,000 if it's $1 million of real estate, $6,000 plus a couple times a year. Maybe that's going to be your strategy. But if you get a particular loan type, usually less than 20% down, sometimes they do impound your account. So property taxes are going to be in there in your payment. So it's not just going to be your regular house payment for your mortgage. Property taxes will be in there. Sometimes homeowners associations get tied in there, and some of those other permanent recurring costs, including home insurance as well, which is a whole nother video. Just throwing it out there. If you happen to be watching this at the beginning of your home search, and you're going to be buying a house in Santa Clarita Valley, it's important to know if the property is insurable. Even if it looks like it is, give your insurance person a call, or your agent should kind of know this off their head, but you should always verify everything your agent tells you. Really, you should always verify it. Now, so that's the insurance thing. But all of these factors are things that you should know when you're buying real estate. So that's usually how the payments are configured and how the taxes work. Now, in some areas, it could be that you're paying the Melrose and assessments I talked about. That's a lot of extra. In some cases, it's a whole lot of extra, and it's going to be on top of the normal tax base. And I have seen Melrose amount approaching double taxes. So by $1 million of real estate, it jumps up where you have double taxes to pay if, in fact, the Melrose or special assessments are that high. How long do they get paid? Well, a long time, 20, 30-year bonds. And then sometimes they fall off and they're done when the maturity date hits. And sometimes I think there's mechanisms in place to have them continue. If you're going to be something predicated on 30 years in the future when Melrose won't be around and basing your buying decision today off of that, bad idea. Let's take it for now. Also, if you're buying, I've talked about this with a lot of other people, if you're purchasing now, do not buy because somebody said, oh my gosh, you'll be able to save on interest rate when it does come down. What if it doesn't come down is the question. Condominiums, townhomes, they have their own variety. All of these property types, I'll finish with this in today's video. It's important that at some point in the process, after you start seeing residential real estate and you start to get close to writing offers on residential real estate and you have an offer accepted, you want to go talk to the neighbors. Condo, townhome, super important. Single family residence, I'd throw it right up there with being as important. Although the point is, you kind of want to see who you space with. Who are you sharing walls with, or floors or ceilings? And in a condominium, you know, it's like an apartment. So you're going to have maybe this wall, roof, ceiling with a neighbor. It's kind of cool to see who's there. Maybe you're below somebody. If they have high heels on all the time, they're getting home from the club late at night, banging around on the floor with 15 kids. That's a lot of extra noise potentially through the floor, so it might not be a bad idea as part of your inspection process, because you'll have time to look at things unless you give that up. That's another video. But if you don't give that up and you have a particular amount of days to conduct inspections, part of your due diligence should be to go to the property, and this is any property, and have a listen. Listen inside, listen outside. Maybe times per day. If you have a property that's adjacent to a freeway, for example, which we have that in the Santa Clarita Valley, we have the 14, the 5 freeway. If in Newhall Ranch Road, it's like a freeway. Other streets out here, Golden Valley, like a freeway. Very high speeds, high traffic volume. If you're purchasing a residence that's on a road, the street in front of it, that's normal. But maybe it backs up to something, maybe it's in the vicinity of something else that's not very great for a homeowner, i.e. prison, jail. Those things don't help. Usually, though, your price per square foot property point cost is less when properties have those issues. If you're going to be buying something like that, great. Understand that if you're having a quandary in purchasing it, more than likely, when it comes time for you to sell it, that next buyer's be in the same pickle, unless you can change something about it, whatever that may be, or they move whatever is close to it that's causing maybe value issues, moving that away, or it's being relocated or something. But when you're purchasing real estate, right underneath those massive high-frequency power lines, again, that price per square foot is probably going to differ or be less for that residence versus one same house, same everything, a block away that's not in close proximity to the high power lines. Those are things to look at. Your agent should be pointing these things out when you're at the property. I'm going to end today with that. We will be back next video talking about home selection. So we got through some of the little trinkets of information concerning CC&Rs and homeowners associations. The next video I'll put together further discussions about choosing these different property types, and then we'll take it as if we're going to be buying a single family residence, because there'll be separate videos on condominiums and townhomes. They are really important enough to get their own content, because there are some insurance issues. Some used to have financing, some are not allowing for financing anymore. So these are Santa Clarita specific 101 real estate training videos for first-time buyers, and even those that maybe haven't purchased in a while. I'm Connor McIver. Thank you for watching video number 2 in your 101 series. I guess this will be video 102 class. I hope a fantastic week, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.